Assalamualaikum, I'm Syafiqah Aqilah and now I would like to present the introduction of inflation and employment in Laos from year 2006 until 2020. Based on Cambridge Dictionary, inflation means an increase in price over time causing a reduction in the value of money. And employment means the number of people who do not have a job that provides money. The inflation and employment have relationship between them, such as if inflation in Laos was increased, employment will decrease. Inflation can be positive and negative. It depends on the individual viewpoint and rate of change. Inflation classified into three types, such as demand pull inflation, cost push inflation, and built-in inflation. Besides, employment is individuals who are without work and trying to find a job. Some people are employed as they could be moving on to new jobs and choose to resign, or they could be looking for another job. Employment is the key measure of economics in country to achieve development of goal promoting inclusive and sustainable economic growth. Full and productive employment and decent work for all. Cost of employment increase in economic slowdowns. As the economy slow, all businesses are forced to cut their costs by reducing payroll expenses. For example, nowadays our country has COVID-19 because the COVID-19 this year has resulted in higher employment rates. Now, I will pass to my friend Nur Shafiqah Binti Ramli to explain background of Laos.
I am Nur Shafiqah Binti Ramli, and now I would like to present the background of Laos. Laos is the only landlocked country in Southeast Asia, surrounded by China, Vietnam, Burma, Thailand, and Cambodia. A French colony until the 1953, the facility struggled with attitude between royalists and also the communist group. Better law also saw the country held within the Vietnam. Communist forces overthrew the monarchy in 1975, heralding years of isolation. After the autumn of the state within the 1990s, Laos began opening up to the globe. But despite economic reform, the country remains poor and heavily obsessed and in most Laotians live in rural areas, with around 80% working in agriculture, mostly growing rice. The current population of the Laos People Democratic Republic is 736,820 as of Saturday, May 8, 2021, supported world meter elaboration of the most recent international organization data. Laos 2022 population is estimated at 727,560 people at mid-year, in line with UN data. Laos population is a drop 0.09% of the full world population. Laos ranked number 105 within the list of states and dependencies by population. The population density in Laos is 32 per kilometer. The overall surface area is 230,800 km, 35.7 euro after the population is urban, 2600131 people in 2020. The median age in Laos is 24.4 years. According to recent report from the Bank of the Law PDR, the financial institution of Laos, the agriculture sector showed only 2.8% growth in 2017 and contribute just 16% of the country's GDP. The public debt of Laos may increase to the maximum amount as 65 to 68% of GDP in 2020. Following a quantitative fall in national revenue collection alongside a rise in loans. Thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic, instead with a government official, next Naufal Syahmi will continue this presentation.
Thank you, Shafiqah. My name is Naufal Syahmi and I will explain about the overview problem of inflation in Laos. Based on our study at World Bank data, the inflation rate of Laos from year 2006 until 2020, the year 2008 was the highest. It peaked at 7.629%. During that year, following the year 2009, the inflation rate decreased to a whopping 0.141%, which is 7.488 decrease from the year before. For the next few years, from 2010 to 2011, there was increase in the rate from 5.983% to 7.569%. Followed by the year 2012, the inflation rate decreased to 4.255%. While in the next year 2013, the inflation was increased to 6.371 and the inflation rate went down again in 2014 to 4.129%. The following year also saw a decrease in the rate to 1.277% in 2015. In 2016, the inflation rate increased to 1.597. Followed to 2017, the rate decreased again to 0.826, and it increased a bit large in 2018, which this inflation rate is 2.04. While the inflation rate in 2019 also increased to 3.323. Judging from the graph above, during the year 2005 to 2019, exactly this is the 15 years of data. The year that has made us interest about is in 2008. As shown above, in 2008, Laos was facing with the highest inflation rate which sits at 7.629%. The inflation that occurred in 2008 was also known as the Great Recession, where almost every single country in the world was facing a financial crisis, including Laos. Next, Syafiqah Aqilah will continue with overview the problem of unemployment in Laos.
Thank you, Naufal. Now let's continue with monetary and fiscal policies to overcome the problem of inflation and unemployment of the country. Monetary reform in Laos has been studied and they have been changed in the graph from 2005 to 2019 for 50 years. As the graph shows, there was no change from year 2005 until 2007 with 3.5%, and in year 2008 it started to increase to 4%. After that, in 2009, the graph showed the fiscal policies rating Laos starting from 2009 to 2012. After the horizontal graph starting in 2012, the graph decreased from 4.0 to 3.5. The graph decreased until 2030. Next, in 2030, the horizontal graph at 3.5, that is, from 2030 to 2050. After 3 years, the graph has been on scale of 3.5. In 2050, the graph decreased to 2060 from 0.3.5 to 3.0. And starting in 2060, the graph shows statistics from 2060 to 2019. This shows that in Laos, they are monitoring from after change every year, and based on the graph, studies show the Laos graph is declining. Now, I will pass to my friend Adrina Binti Ramza to explain about impact of coronavirus pandemic toward inflation and unemployment of Laos.
Thank you, Shafiqah. I am Adrina Ramza, and now I will continue with impact of coronavirus pandemic of inflation and unemployment of Laos. Poverty rates in Southeast Asia and the Pacific will rise this year for the first time in 20 years as a result of a COVID-19 pandemic that left the population poor and created new poor people, the World Bank said. In the report, the World Bank looked at how developing countries in the region were hit by a triple shock. As a result, the pandemic containment measures and the global recessions and recommended changes to reduce the impact on the region's poor growth. While the devastation caused by COVID-19 is well known, the less acknowledged thing is that what happens to the economy today and tomorrow's growth will be less dependent on the virus than how governments act, said the World Bank chief economist for East Asia and the Pacific, Aditya Mathur. It is estimated that following school closures due to COVID-19, the average student in the region will face a 4% reduction in expected income each year in their working life. The semi-annual report focused on nearly 20 developing countries in the region, including Laos.
Thank you, Adrina, for the explanation. My name is Nurul Fatihah Binti Jamaludin, and I will explain about impact of government stimulus package on national debt in Laos. Laos government is attentively assisting and creating a favorable condition during this coronavirus crisis to a wide range of business units in a form of companies and organizations by implementing tax break or exemption for a certain type of taxes and business size and delaying tax payment. The World Bank support Laos PDR the stimulus package of USD 80 million. Apart from that, the Laos government also incorporated with the Bank of Laos PDR and together with commercial banks to perform debt reclassification and provide incentive on interest rates. For sure, this pandemic also give impact to the country, such as in inflation and the unemployment rate in Laos. Next, the Ministry of Finance Tax Department has published a further notice on the calculation of personal income payroll tax which implement the exemption of PIT for employees both public and private sectors who receive a monthly salary below 5 million LAK within a 3-month period, April to June 2020, in accordance with the decision of the Prime Minister No. 31NA dated 2 April 2020. The method of calculation is displayed as follows. First, in case of employees who receive a monthly salary below 5 million LAK, then this refers to who earn income in the first 2 levels of tax deduction shown in the table below, will be computed as the following. Thus, for employees who earn a monthly salary above 5 million LAK are to be calculated by exempting the first 5 million LAK of the earned salary and deducting the remaining amount with the rate of 10% and above, respectively. To reduce the negative impact of COVID-19 outbreak for the capital market, the Laos Securities Commission has published a notice in relation to policy and measure of implementation. For instance, stimulate the publication of Laos Securities Exchange (LS) Act through mass media, pay close attention to the trading trend and status toward investor behavior, and incorporate with the securities companies to create a contingency plan. Now, I will pass to Adrina for our conclusion.
Laos has made good development progress over the last 15 years, reducing poverty, malnutrition, and improving education and health outcomes. However, there is room for further improvement. A child born in Laos today will be half as productive if he or she enjoys their health and education to the fullest. Malnutrition continues to be a critical problem, with stunning affecting more than 30% of children under the age of 5. Maternal mortality rates are also high at 185 per 100,000 births in the year 2017.